Hey guys, we're back. This time we're taking a look at Rising Storm, the Starborn from DPH Games. And this is a little, what do they call that? Asymmetrical deck builder, trick-taking game. Basically, you are drafting cards into your deck. You're going to then play out a day's worth of combat. Winner takes the day. Over the course of 3 days, you see who wins the most, and that's who basically wins the game. There are different factions in here. Each one of them has a different starting deck with different cards in them, but eventually everybody can get every card. I don't think there's any unique. It's just whether you can get them from the draft or not. But anyway, let's take a look and see what's in. So first off, we have our rulebook here. Not a whole lot here. What is there? 10 pages, 11 pages. You have your components list, anatomy of a card, the basic layout of the battlefield, how the gameplay works. So there's your draft. They call them challenges. The different days is a challenge, but it starts off, you're going to have your draft, then you're going to play your cards, then you're going to win your challenges. At the end there's your scoring section. They give some examples. An FAQ on the back for some specific card interactions. A 4-player variant. We do play 4-player free-for-all all the time, and it's kind of chaotic. They suggest playing 2-on-2. It makes it a little more manageable. And then some more FAQ on the back. This I do not have sorted out very well. I think I just used what came in here. It does come with all these baggies, which is nice. So we have our different factions. We have the Sangri, the Granja, I'm sure I'm saying these wrong, the Starborn, and the Sway. And then each one has their own player board that goes with them. Says your 6 starting cards. Like I said, everybody starts with 6 cards, but they are a different set of 6 cards. Up here is your credits. You're going to earn and spend credits to play various cards throughout the game. They're also worth victory points at the end, so whatever row you're in, this is how many victory points you're going to spend at the end of the game. It is possible to go into the negatives, though, so keep that in mind. But you're going to need these credits in order to buy or play certain cards. So we'll mix these with the various decks. Each of these factions also has a little description up here of what they're like. And again, there are 6 starting cards down there. Everybody has access to every card eventually, but it's what's here is what you're guaranteed to have in your opening hand. So when you have your factions chosen, you're going to lay out your faction cards. For example, here I'm just going to grab a couple. And you're going to have these laid out in turn order, basically. This person is going to go first. In the case of wherever there's a tie, the person here, the person first will always win a tie. And then you have these cards that you're going to be using to draft, and they are basically laid out in number of players. So in this case, we're going to play with 3 players. We're going to leave out the 4-player deck. Somewhere in here there should be a 3. So we're going to use both of these. These are going to be shuffled together to make our deck. They are marked up here in the top with a symbol. So this is used in a 2+ player game. The ones for the 3+ player game have 3 marks, and the ones for the 4+ or 4-player game have 4 marks on them. There are basically two different types of cards. We have blue cards, which are civilian, and we have red cards, which are military. Civilian cards, only the highest one played in a row matters. In military cards, they can take two and add them together in a column. And I'm getting ahead of myself with that, so the first thing we need to do here is lay out our draft. So at the beginning of each of the challenges, you're going to lay out cards like so. And then there will be one face down. And the way this draft works is you're going to take turns choosing a card. Let's move these up a little bit so you can see. Any of these cards can be chosen for the draft. So you start with player 1 and you work your way through. Any of the face-up cards you take, everybody knows you took it, so they can plan ahead for you to have that specific card. Face-down cards, they don't know what you took, but you don't know what you took either. And this is going to go till everybody, in this case, there's 3 cards per player. Everybody's going to take 3 cards, so you go one at a time. I'm going to take this. Next player takes this. Next player takes one of these. I take this for my second card. They take that for their second card. Somebody takes that for their third or their second card. And then we're each going to take a third, and so on. Now that that's done, we add these cards to our starting cards that you got in your pack at the beginning of the game. You also get one of these little cubes that you're going to use to keep track of your money. So you'll have your player board. It starts on 5. You have this nifty little cheat sheet card that tells you how many of each card is available in the draft. Does not include the cards that are in your hand at the beginning of the game. So in this case, as Granja, all of our starting cards have our faction logo on them, so we can easily match them up after the game. They also don't have the little level markers in the corner like these do. This is our opening hand of cards. So at that point, the challenge starts, and you start with the first person here, and they're going to choose a card from their hand and play it. Each card has a couple different things going on it. It has a power value up here. Again, the highest power value in your column is going to win. So you're going to add these up. You're going to play all your cards under your faction's name. They're going to play all their cards here. They're going to play all their cards here. Whoever has the highest at the end is what's going to win. Civilians, like I said, blue cards, you're going to take the highest number you have. This is the cost. So in this case, this card is free to play. This is the value if it is captured. And then this is the effect. In this case, other civilian cards in this column cannot be captured. Basically, they're going to have to capture the emissary first, and she's not worth any points, which is good. Second here we have this military card here. And the military always have the star on here. It's 1 star because the star is going to add the 2, whatever your highest 2 military cards are going to be added together. This will cost you 1 credit to play, so on your board here you would have to move this down to a 4 if you wanted to play this card. And it's worth 2 points if it's captured. This allows you to immediately capture a civilian, which you don't want to do on the first because there's nothing out there to capture. So ideally we're going to do something like our emissary here to protect our other civilians. We might not even play other civilians, but it depends on what our plan is here. So we're going to start with that. Then we're going to go on to our next player, and they're going to play an infantry here, which has a power of 2, and it's going to add to another military card, cost them 1 credit. Other characters do not collect credits when he's in play, and he can also destroy a drone. There's no drone out. That's going to go. Last guy's going to play a civilian who's a 3, but he gives other civilians plus 2 power. So already he's pretty good. He also gains you a credit when you play him, but he's a high value target for capture. Then it gets back around to us, and maybe now at this point, because of that, we're going to take our special ops guy we already looked at. We're going to reduce our money to 4. We're going to play our special ops guy as our second card. His ability allows us to capture an enemy civilian card. We are going to capture this statesman, so that's 2 points for us at the end. And he's going to go over here, basically next to our points. You can put him face down or whatever, but he's going to go next to our board. I don't know if I gave myself enough room here because of the camera, but this is going to go on. Here's a nifty one, is a secret agent. It allows them to play a card face down with this. So they play a face down card with this on top. And then this player goes to play, say, this diplomat here, which makes all military cards have a power of 0. That's a really annoying and mean card. Another target for capture, though. But they're going to go there. They do not fill in the empty hole. They go into the second row. That hole is where that card was captured. That stays there. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to do one more row. So our military cards, which were what we were planning on doing, are now at 0. So military is not good unless we can get rid of that guy. So maybe we switch up and go with a merchant. So we'll play our merchant. We get +2 credits. So on our credit board here, we're going to go back up 2. So back up to 6. And then we also get to immediately draw a card from the deck. So that deck that we were drafting cards from earlier, we're going to draw a new card from. We got another merchant. That's funny. Then it goes on. There's going to be one more round face up. They're going to play an assassin. Immediately discard any one face down or civilian card. So in this case, there's a face down card here. We could get rid of that. Or we could get rid of a civilian, which maybe we're planning on going military too, so we're going to get rid of this diplomat. The poor Sangri player is getting just screwed. Now, because that is a discard, we don't get to capture it. We don't get the points for it, but it goes away. And then they're going to play one more card themselves. And they've got another diplomat. So they really don't want us winning with military. They only give them a 1 power, though. So right now they're losing. Right now you're looking at the 2 military here, which went to a 0. So we've got a 0 on this guy. So they're winning against them. Over here, this is a 0 because of the diplomat. But we've got a 2 on the emissary and a 1 here. So we're winning with a 2 here right now, which is good. For this last round, which is going to go off the camera, unfortunately, we get to choose another card here. And maybe we'll do this just in case. We're going to put this face down. Everybody plays one card face down, so you don't know what is being played. They're going to play a face down card, and they're going to play a face down card. So now that we've all played our 4th face down card, these are secret. So once all of these are in play, you don't know what the other people have played. Now you're going to reveal, and they're resolved in the order they revealed. So in this case, our assassin can take out a civilian or a face down card. So we can take out one of these face down cards if we think we might not win. Right now we're sitting at the 2 for this. If we take out the diplomat, we're going to lose to the 3 from their military. So we don't want to do that. We could take out this face down card, which I think is probably going to be our best bet, which was an emissary. So that was a good choice. It's discarded because it's killed by the assassin. Their card's already destroyed. It's not revealed. Then they reveal their card. They have a hacker. You can ignore the protection of a drone. There are no drones in play right now, so nothing there. Now we go back to the top and resolve any face down that are there. So this secret agent has a face down card that gets revealed. It is Mex. Can immediately capture up to 2 enemy military cards. There's only 1 enemy military card on the table, so they're going to capture that. And they're going to take our 2-point special ops. So now we're going to add up our columns. And our gamble paid off because our 2 emissary is the highest in our column. They have a 2 and a 3, which would give them 5 military, but the diplomat makes all military 0. So those are 0. Their assassin is 0. They have a 0. So we're winning with a 2. We come over to here, they have a 1 and a 1. You cannot add civilians together, so it's their 1 versus our 2. We win this challenge. There are 3 of these decisive victories, which are first place, and there are 3 of these marginal victories, which are second place. We won this hands down. We're going to take our decisive victory, which is 5 points at the end of the game. They got their secondary victory with their 1 diplomat there, so they're going to take a marginal victory, 2 point, and that's the end of this round. We're going to wipe the board. Everything that's been played gets discarded. So all these cards are discarded and not used again. Anything that was captured, we're going to keep, like I said, next to our player board for points at the end of the game. Faction cards that are discarded, you can set aside so you can put them back in their piles at the start, or you can just put them in the shared discard and make sure you take them out later. At this point, you're going to take the deck that was shuffled up and you're going to reveal new cards. You're going to put out 2 new rows of face-up cards, 1 new row of face-down cards, and you're going to start another draft. That's round 2. You're going to do that 3 times in total. You have 1 of these for each of the rounds. After the 3rd round, you're going to add up all your points. Your points include your decisive and marginal victory cards. They include any of the points on the captured cards that you have in front of you. And they include a value based on your current number of credits. So in this case, we're going to get 6 points for our credits. We're going to get 2 points for the captured statesman. And we're going to get 5 points for our 1 decisive victory. So that's going to give us 13 points total for at least the 1 round we played. You're going to have 3 rounds worth of that at the end. Overall, I really like the game. It was something different. Like I said, if you play 4-player free-for-all, everybody out for themselves, it becomes a convoluted mess because you never know what's going to happen out of here. You play this, they destroy this, they capture this. It's constantly changing. It is suggested that if you're going to play 4-player, you play 2v2. That said, I think the game plays best, honestly, at 3-player. 2-player, it's alright head-to-head, but 3-player is kind of where it shines for me. Because there's a little bit of chaos in there, but there's also a little bit of strategy. You're pinging back and forth. 2-player, it's literally straight head-to-head. Same with the 4-player if you're playing 2v2. 4-player, free-for-all, like I said, it's just chaos. But 3-player seems to be where it shines for me. I like that each of the factions is slightly asymmetrical, and you're going to start with more, like this case, we've got more civilians. But we also do have a powerful mech and infantry in there, so we got a decent mix. Each faction having different starting cards does make kind of a cool thing for that. I didn't mention, but the cubes here that you use for your money tracking are actually metal, so they're little gold cubes that represent money. That's kind of funny. The card stock's pretty good quality. They're nice thick cards. Of course, these are sleeved, but even without being sleeved, they are. I mean, standard durability, nothing massively amazing, no win and finish or anything, but they are decent quality. The little cheat sheet cards, I'm not sure how much they help. I guess if you play the game a lot, you can start learning, okay, this many cards has come up. You can kind of guess what these face down cards are based on what's come through. I don't really use them that much, but they're nice to have as a reference there. Overall, though, it is a fun little game. Plays pretty fast. It's similar in some ways, but different enough each time you play that it doesn't really feel too samey. There are going to be games where the same kind of combos come up, and it does feel the same. But at the same time, the next hand could be completely different. Once you start playing enough to learn the cards, you can kind of get a expectation of what the other players may or may not be playing. It also depends on the personality of the person playing, if they're predictable or not. So there's a lot of variables that go into it and things that can change just how the game plays out. And like I said, that 3-player variability in there just gives it just enough chaos to be not as predictable, but enough strategy still involved to make it fun for me, at least. Overall, though, I think it's a fun game. Like I said, it's another one that is easy to teach and takes a little bit to master, but overall, it's still just a really fun game to play with your friends. Kind of a beer and pretzel type thing to me. We've used it as a filler a few times too, in between playing other games, waiting for other players and whatnot. I think it holds its own as a fun little game, and it's definitely worth it for me. Your mileage may vary, but now that you've seen this, I hope it helps you decide if it is something worth getting for yourself. I should also point out that the Kickstarter version of this, which this is, I've had it for a while, I didn't do a video, also came in this little promo pack of cards. And in the promo pack here, we have just the bonus pack cover card. We've got some more, I don't think there's anything new in here, there's just more of them. Well, modified mech I think is new. Yeah, maybe there are a couple new cards in here. But yeah, they have different tier rankings on them. So you got two tier 4s, 3 tier 3s, and 4 tier 2 cards to add to your game. Add a little bit more variety to things. Change things up a little. Yeah, I think there's at least one new one per rank there. So, again, that's something cool that just adds a little bit more variety to things. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for our look at Rising Storm, the Starborn. And hope it helps you decide if it is something worth getting for yourself. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.